Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I've last posted a video, so I hope you're all having a great day. The Grand Chess Tour in St. Louis has just concluded, and I would like to show you a game played by Levon Aronian, who finished first in this event. This game was from the rapid portion of the event. Aronian had black pieces against Fabiano Caruana, and without further ado, let's jump right into this game. So Caruana opened with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, bishop b5, the Royal Lopez. I'm going to go through the opening stages of this game quickly, and I hope you don't mind. So here a4 was played by Caruana, which is known as the anti-martial variation. So the main move c3 allows d5, the martial attack. So Caruana opted for a4. We have pawn to b4, a5, d6, c3. So up to this point, we have been following a previous game of Caruana's, the game between Caruana and Ding Liren in a Grand Chess Tour in Croatia, and Ding continued with rook to b8. But in this game, Aronian played bishop to e6. So we have a trade of bishops, d4, more trades, and here d5. So apart from challenging the center, this threatens in some cases bishop to b4. Aronian is trying to prove that a5 is a weakness for white. So Caruana could try knight g5 here, arguing that e6 is also a weakness for black. So hoping for queen d7, and here e5, suddenly this knight doesn't have access to d7, so it has to retreat back to e8, and you could argue that this knight is misplaced. However, here black can play bishop b4 and in between move. So this kind of forces knight takes e6, leading to a forcing variation. And black will regain the piece, the knight on f8, but maybe Caruana wasn't too sure how to assess this position, whether it was good for white. So Fabi opted for e5, and he played knight b to d2. So if bishop b4, this runs into queen a4, and this is good for white. So rook to b8. Levon continues with his game plan, which is simply attacking that weakness on a5. And now rook to b5. Queen e2 from Fabi, which indirectly defends the pawn by putting pressure on a6. So if that's taken, then rook takes a6. And if knight takes c5, this runs into knight d4, winning the exchange. So this is definitely playable for black. There is some compensation, but if anyone is better, it's probably white. So in this position, Levon played h6, just stopping any knight g5 possibilities and waiting to see how Fabi reacts. So Fabi wants to wait as well. He played h3, rook f7. So for the next few moves, Levon is basically just asking Fabi, okay, what's the game plan? Are you just going to sit around and try and defend a5? Or are you going to sack that pawn for some activity? So Aronian has added some defenses to a6 and c7, and he is prepared to simply win that pawn on a5. So Fabi allows it, and it's now up to him to try and prove whatever compensation there is. Fabi played rook 8 c3. So this was played just to stop black from re-coordinating his pieces with knight b to c6. Levon still tried to get the knight back into the game, knight d7. So if that's taken, the pawn on c7, then black can play knight takes e5. And this simplifies into a better endgame for Levon. Caruana tried queen g6. Levon played knight f8, kicking the queen back. So now pressure on c7. Levon played c6 and rook a1. So Fabi couldn't really prove the compensation. He is hoping to try and now win back the pawn with pressures down the a and c file. Levon defends this very well. And now rook a7. With c5 coming, Fabi is in a tight spot. He played knight to h2. So if he had continued on with the pressure down the a file, for example queen a2, hoping for say knight b7, then you can capture an a6. However, here Levon has rook b2 and suddenly this queen is trapped. So knight h2, not the best move. The computer suggests queen d3, sitting and waiting, but here knight h2 played by Fabi. Now Aronian breaks with c5. And black has just created a second passed pawn. And he has decent winning chances. Rook c3. So maybe Fabi could have kept more pieces on the board, but it's still a very difficult position for him. Rook a c7, rook takes. Knight c6, and now both pawns are ready to start marching. And black has a big advantage. So let's see how the rest of the game continued. So if knight takes e5, this isn't that great because it allows some counterplay. Black is still better, but there's no reason to make things more difficult. So knight f4 played. Queen d2, and now knight to d4. So obviously if queen captures knight, this runs into knight e2 check, which wins immediately. So this forces some exchanges, which makes things easier for Aronian. And Aronian didn't face much difficulties from here on. I'll play through the rest of the game quickly. And Caruana resigned here. Possible continuation would be something like d2, rook check, king d5, and rook e1, which wins the game. Well played game by Aronian, and congratulations to him for winning the St. Louis Grand Chess Tour. I hope you enjoyed this video. Do consider subscribing to the channel for more chess content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.